Yo, what is going on? Carter here with Edge Mindset. Thank you for joining me. Really happy for you to be here. We're going to be taking apart this Strider SMF today. Why, might you ask? No reason. I just felt like taking it apart and I thought maybe you guys would want to see. So if you have any desire to see how a Strider SMF comes apart, what it looks like inside, stay tuned, hang out. If you don't care about any of those things, cool. Catch you later on another video. That's all we're doing is taking this apart. Nothing else is going to happen. So what are we looking at? Strider SMF. This particular one is an NSN version. I have a full-ish video unboxing or whatever on this knife. But basically, this is a knife made for government contracts, military contracts. Strider provides these knives, which is why it has this stock number right here. National stock number, I believe it stands for. Which basically just means it's in the government system as an item that can be purchased for units. And so that's what this knife is for. This one has an aluminum scale on the front here without any milling. I really like it, especially with this blade. Just looks very, very cool. This anodization on here without any. Normally you would see like either the FWP logo, which is kind of more rare, or the more common one is the 8-line or 9-line. I forget how many that are kind of milled into the handle here. This one is just the slick black aluminum handle, normal flamed on this side, and that is it. So what tools do we need to take this apart? Well, it depends. It depends on if it's been Loctited or anything like that. So you're going to need your Torx bit right here for the body screws. And I believe this is a, I should have looked this up. I believe that this is a T8. I know this size is the exact same, and using the Weehaws here. Oh, T9. So T9 body screws. They got to be different. And then I've actually got the bit for the spanner right on this side right here, so it fits into those grooves. Now, there's a couple different options for that. You can buy an actual tool like this one, or you can buy a bike spanner tool. Let me go grab that so I can show you. Here is an example of one of those. Now this one doesn't work quite as well. I don't use it because I have this, but in a pinch you can use something like this. And basically, I forget which side, I think it's this side. So that tab kind of goes in the hole with the idea being that the rest go around the other side. Now I'm sure there's better versions of this tool. Oh man, I don't even think this one would work on here. It does a little bit, but it's a little bit hokey and not the best, but I'm sure there's better tools than this. But that's what this is. It's like a bike chain link spanner, spanner, whatever. It's escaping me right now what the actual words are. But what we're going to do is see if we can just take this out with this hex tool right here, which is the 1/8 hex tool size right there. Now, if it hasn't been Loctite, it's not too bad. You can put it in the open position because that puts a little bit of pressure on that pivot to help it from spinning. And then you can also put your finger on the other side to try to prevent it from spinning. And you can simply see if you can just undo the thing. And in this case, we are successful. No need to use any sort of funky spanner tool or anything like that. It came right out. Kind of luck of the draw on how tight that is in there, if it's nice and clean and oiled, or if somebody's Loctited it or done anything different. Then we take out the body screws right here. Pretty self-explanatory. This is the new style of Strider where it screws right into the aluminum. The old school, the pre-Strider split edition would actually have the usual female end on this side. But these new ones just screw right into the aluminum. So it makes it really easy to get these out of here. Not a problem at all. And I think all we're going to do, I mean, we could do a full disassembly. I don't know. Is there any value to like a top to bottom disassembly? Sure, why not? We're doing it. We're doing it. So let's take the pocket clip out as well. And it is also very simple. Same exact size, T9 bit. Just screws right into the titanium, and you can see this little dovetail bit right there. So that goes into this hole right here, this top hole, and then you have a single screw holding it in. So those 2 points are what keeps it from sliding side to side. Kind of cool, kind of clever. The alternative is to do 2 or more screws on that. And then this pops right off just like you saw right there. And then let me grab this other bit here. So to get the lock bar stabilizer off, you need a, what is this? T7. I think the old ones used the T6, like the old school Striders, and then they went up to T7 on these new ones. That comes out right there, so you can see inside of that bad boy right there. And it's simply a disc with a screw going through it. We'll put that right back in here in a second before I move on. So here is the completely disassembled lock side right here. A little bit of grease, a little bit of oil, detent ball. Let's take a look at this lock face. So here's something I wanted to point out. I bought this from somebody. Is that carbidized? That looks like it's carbidized right there. I've noticed that Striders seem to be carbidized lately, and I don't know if it's all of them. I know that the Performance series has been carbidized and the Customs have been carbidized, but traditionally, like the old school, like old catalog knives haven't been, but I'm starting to think that they're starting to do that. But I'm not completely sure what is or isn't carbidized, but this one kind of looks like it. It's not 100% clear, but it looks like it does have some carbidization on the front there, and it is absolutely, there's no stick on this either, so that's what makes me think that that might be the case. Let's throw this lock bar stabilizer back in before we move on to the rest of this. I just don't want to lose it. Screws right in like that. Good to go. And as the name suggests, it prevents it from over traveling, right? So you can't bend this out more than that. It won't bend out further, and it also prevents it from pushing inwards as well this way, because it has that milled lip right there, and it keeps it from moving inside. That's why it's not an over travel, it's a lock bar stabilizer when it's embedded like this, because it does more than prevent over travel. It prevents it from pushing in, which if you saw my video on, I don't have it here, but if you saw my video on the Oblaya from CKF, that is one of the problems you have with these. Yeah, so we can see it right here. See how that's moving in if you press on the inside of that lock bar? Because this is not a lock bar stabilizer, it's only an over travel. There's a tab under there and it prevents it from moving out this way, but it doesn't prevent it from moving inward. So there's the difference right there. Maybe you learned something, I don't know. So on this side, we have washers. Now, these used to be different sizes in the old school ones, but now they are the same size. It used to be the non-lock side was a little bit bigger and wider, and then the inside one, I believe this is how it was. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe this is how it was. And then the inside one was a little bit skinnier just because you had to clear this lock bar right here. So this one was always thinner, and then the one on the other side was bigger. But that's not the case anymore. Single piece, it's all milled out of a single piece of aluminum. Here is your lock bar or your closed position stop pin, right? It's not a pin, but that's what the blade hits against in order to, I believe it's that one. Is it the next one? Let's see. Nope, I was wrong. I think, I don't know. Which one's actually hitting first? Oh, this one. So that's what stops the blade in the closed position is right there, which is kind of interesting because this could, right? But I guess it needs just that amount of clearance, so they couldn't extend it maybe? I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, because I don't see why this one couldn't act as it, and then that way, because you can see that contact point right there, how it's kind of worn off right there. So that is where it's hitting that and preventing it from, that's what's stopping the blade in the closed position. Obviously, in the open position, you're using these thumb studs that are hitting up against this frame there, but on that side, that's what it is. And then here is, just a single piece. One of the cool things about Striders, man, this is dirty. I'm going to clean this up and put it back together. One of the cool things about this style, the Lego Striders and stuff, is just the single piece of the front side and the back side. Same with this SNG here. It's a single piece. More expensive to do it this way. And not because of machining, just because you have to take a piece of material that's this thick all the way through, and then you mill and get rid of all this material. Whereas if you got 2 thinner pieces of G10 and just created 2 separate pieces, it would be a lot cheaper, because the thicker you make this material, it gets exponentially more expensive compared to having 2 pieces of thinner material. And then of course you're not wasting, it is kind of a, here, let me do this. It is kind of a waste, because this is all milled throwaway material. If they were taking just 2 pieces of thinner material, you could cut so many backspacers out of this, right? You could fit like 2 more out of this material here. But anyways, all one piece, increases strength, and it reduces the amount of parts to lose and kind of fall apart and do all that kind of stuff. Do we want to clean this thing and put it back together? I don't know. Maybe we do. All right, we can. So that's the main disassembly, if that's all you wanted to see. Now we are going to put this baby back together, clean it up, put some oil in it. If you want to hang out and watch that happen, that's cool. If you want to say, you know what, I just wanted to get the main meat and potatoes of what you wanted to show here, go ahead and disconnect from this session, and I will catch you on the next video. So for those that are still here, thanks for hanging out. We're just going to wipe this down. So here's the thing. I am not really meticulous with cleaning. I don't know. I see some of these guys on the tubes, on the YouTubes, and they spend so much time like cleaning every little part of every little piece of debris. That's not me. So if that's going to give you OCD, sorry, man. It's just not me. I'm more of a, it's a knife. It's going to be gross. It's going to be kind of dirty, and it's going to immediately get dirty again. So I just like to wipe off the main gist. Call it good. I just do that. Take the same paper towel, wipe it down. I see some crap in there, so I'll, spin that around. Maybe spin around the other side. Wipe off the lock surface. Wipe off this top of the lock bar here. And that's it. I don't take white Q-tips and like make sure that every little piece of everything is cleaned off here. So that's it. So that's me wiping this down. It wasn't too dirty. I mean, the oil was kind of dark, but it wasn't too dirty. I'm using this stuff here. What is this? KPL, kind of just the OG. Once again, I'm not a big, I am not a big lubrication guy. I don't mean that like I don't like to lubricate my knives. I just mean, I don't know, I'm just not that particular. I like a nice standard medium weight, and to me that's good enough. Put a little bit of that in, throw the blade on, put a little bit more over here. I try to, on Striders, because this is so close to the lock face, it's so easy to get oil down on that lock face. I never oil directly down there, and I just let this other oil kind of distribute. Put a little dot right there, which is way too freaking much. Jeez. What's it trying to do to me here? Throw this on. Take this guy. Start screwing in that pivot. Maybe. You guys can't see, but I'm just holding this thing together, so I apologize. I apologize for the terrible visuals. And this too, that looks really weird. Let's get this screwed down, kind of get everything held together. I need to put a little pressure on the other side here. Lock that out. There we go. See how that worked? I don't know. You couldn't tell probably, but it was kind of spinning on me until I actually locked out the blade, and that put a little bit of pressure on that pivot and held it in place, which then allowed me just to tighten it up without having to use this spanner bit here. Put all this in, and then you'll be good to go. So as you can see, one of the beauties of Striders, Love them or hate them. They're very simple, very minimal parts. And yet at the same time, very robust. And shoot, am I missing? No. I was like, no, wait, I am. Okay, I think I see it. I thought I was missing a screw, but I think it's just kind of, yeah, it was just hiding at the edge of the mat there. It is amazing, my ability to lose things, even when I'm meticulously putting them in the correct place. And I've done it a bunch of times. You know, I've taken a certain knife. Look at that. That looks cool. That other side, because it's not like completely blasted. So yeah, this is, so it looks like they probably took a stone wash pocket clip and then they blasted it, sandblasted it, but they only directly sandblasted this side because that's the only visible side. And then they did the flaming over the top. But it kind of got a pseudo sandblast on this side, probably from ricochet and, you know, dust particles and stuff like that. So kind of interesting. Strider has gotten the award for the most, and this is a joke, right? They haven't gotten this award, but I would give them the award for the most creative use of a sandblasting machine in the knife world. They have done so many interesting finishes with a sandblast machine compared to any other companies. It's pretty cool. Okay, we're a little bit tight up here. There we go. And there we have it. Here is a put back together SMF, NSN SMF from Strider Knives. If you've hung out this long, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'm really digging this knife. I don't know. It's one of my favorites. It's going to be a user, or rather my version of a user, I guess. I don't really use knives all that hard, but I'm going to carry it and cut with it and all that stuff. All right, guys, comment down below. Was there anything of value in this video? I assume if you made it this far, there must have been something. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.